Hey, what is going on, crypto people? Happy Tuesday. I told you guys I was going live. I did the recorded video earlier in the big news from Flare Networks. Wanted to get that out into the metaverse. And I told you I was going to go live. So here we are, live. Happy Tuesday. We're going to get into the Flare Network's massive news and decision, I think. Did they make the right one? We'll get into that. SEC, another fail. I don't know. Oh, another fail from the SEC. What's going on? Stuff the securities and it's not security. I mean, what's going on right now at the SEC? I think we're gonna tune into Brad Garlinghouse and Stuart Alvarado. Of course, they had something to say about that. So that's kind of going on. We're gonna hear a little bit from Caitlin Long. We're gonna go through some stuff on Crypto X. We'll go over Banter Bubbles. Hey, and let you guys check for yourself whether you have some stuff currently. Do you have some assets currently that's outperforming Bitcoin? It's kind of good to know. For sure. We'll go over some stuff on Crypto X. Safadine Amos, the Bitcoin Standard author. He did a long post about politicians and the Bitcoin promises. Maybe we'll go over that. It's lengthy as forever. And my guy, Jungle Link got a little website, Jungle Link, XRP.com, something like that. Wrote a little article up about Flare Network. We'll cover that. Shout out to my guy, Jungle for sure. And he was talking about Flare just earlier today in this news. This big news coming from Flare. We'll get into that as well. Listen, fam, the market, is doing what the market does. Holy smokes, market is just doing what it does. We'll go over the numbers. If you guys can stomach it, I'll share the freaking numbers from CoinGecko. Let me refresh that too, make sure that is up to date and accurate for sure. Interesting video. I watched a podcast earlier today. The title of it was "The U.S. Government Needs Bitcoin." And it was with Luke Grumman, the guys I told you about, shared with you before, and Preston Peish, I don't know. But he's a big Bitcoiner. Very, very interesting. Again, we talk on this channel about, getting outside of the XRP bubble. It's massively important to gain some different perspectives for us as investors. So I'm going to go from the SEC. We'll go over that as well. Again, happy Tuesday to each and every one of you guys. I'm going to wait for some more people to pop on here on the Zoom, on this live stream for sure. Let's see. I don't know. Do we need DeFi Llama? We don't need DeFi Llama. It's good to know that XRPL is being tracked on DeFi Llama. That's pretty cool to see that. Yeah, I don't know if we need this anymore. Can I keep this? I think this is one of the better things out there. But we can get rid of it. Let's get rid of that. Trying to clear up some of the stuff. You know how we do on Crypto Seas has like gazillion things opened here. Gazillion things open for sure. All right, so let's wait for some people to hop on here. We'll refresh the numbers on CoinGecko, make sure that it's all good. Went to the gym today. I took the week off last week, took the whole week off, and got to the gym today for sure. It was nice to get into the gym. We'll get into some of the numbers on CoinGecko and some of the stuff on CryptoX. Oh, by the way, I did mint a couple of times. I did mint and redeem a couple of times on the FTS XRP stuff. So Flare Emissions is live, so that's good to see as well. I don't know. Should we hop on SparkDex and Clearpool? Let me know in the comments if you think we should hop on that and do some stuff there. Let me know. Let me know in the comments if you guys think we should hop on that. I will. Alina, how are you? Let me know. Let me know if we should hop on, I don't know, the SparkDex, Got some farming going over there. What's SparkDex competing with? Anybody? Anosis. Looks like SparkDex is, competing with Anosis. We'll see how it goes. But it looks like Flare emissions are going out to about 5 or 6 protocols, incentivizing user participation. I'm always great. How are you? How are you? I'm doing outstanding, bro, my friend. I appreciate you checking in. Appreciate you checking in for sure. So we're gonna see if we'll hop on that Spark Decks or not. My guy Steve for Real Estate and Crypto has a YouTube channel, and he did a little step by step on how to do it. But I would have to get some FLR token because I just don't think I have any to spare. I don't think I have any to spare. I think they're all staked. I think they're all freaking stake it. I wonder if this announcement is going to do something to the price of FLR tokens. We'll have to look into that as well. You know, if we can get some under a penny, that'd be really, really good. Big news from Flare Networks. They are going to shelve Layer Cake. You know, the bridging for a smart contract, the bridging, that bridge, next level bridge that really look to solve the bridging issue and challenge. They're shelving that bad boy. They're shelving it. They're gonna put it off, and they're gonna focus more on being the blockchain for data, and they're gonna launch the F assets. They're gonna focus on that, and my guess is they're gonna take those resources that they were focusing and they dedicated to Layer Cake, and they're going to put it to more AI and blockchain. That is my guess. If I had to bet, that's what they're doing. They really want to focus in on integrating AI into the blockchain. Crypto is checking in. What's going on, my friend? They are slow at delivering this tech. Yes, they take their time for sure. Because it's been a minute, as we like to say. Crypto, it's been a minute, as we like to say. So, yeah, so big write-up from Hugo. Kind of sharing with us all that they're going to shelve it. They're going to shelve it. Now, we'll go over his post. We're going to get into, what do you guys think? Do you think it was a good decision, bad decision? I know there's been a couple of people that were kind of disappointed. Dan Rocky kind of changed his tune a little bit later, but initially he was disappointed. Tina seems to still be disappointed. These are Flare, kind of Flare eco system, fans of the Flare ecosystem. So we'll get into that as well. Let's go over these freaking numbers. I mean, what can you say? Crypto, are you new to the channel, my friend? New to the channel, checking in? Where are you checking in from, Crypto? Let's go over CoinGecko and go over these numbers. I mean, might as well. Might as well go over CoinGecko. Bitcoin dominance is killing the game. Killing the game. I have zero dry powder left, man. Montreal, Quebec. Oh, thanks for checking in from Montreal. Montreal, Quebec. Appreciate you being here, my friend. Guys, do me a favor. Welcome Crypto to the stream. The Blue Wrenches haven't checked in yet. We'll have to see what is going on over here. Guys, do me a favor. Hit that like button. We always like to have just as many likes as we have viewers in the stream. That would be super cool. That helps to get the channel out to more people than hanging out and watching the Olympics on YouTube and watching crocodiles snatch pigs off the beach, that kind of stuff. So you hit that like button, and it helps to get the channel out to more people. They got to know about what's going on right now. I mean, it's a new financial system being built right underneath their nose. I mean, my God, they're about to put Bitcoin as a reserve asset on the books as a reserve asset. I mean, what? That is some big news. All right, here's CoinGecko. Let's see what's good. So I'm going to refresh this just again, just going to be up to the second. There it is. According to CoinGecko, the total cryptocurrency market cap in the last 24 hours is down 1.2% and is currently at 2.49 trillion. Bitcoin dominance is 53% or so. It's important to pay attention to the Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin is trading at $66,175 again. And on a 30-day, it's up 5.2%. Ethereum is trading at $3,275, and on a 30-day, it's down 5%. I expect these numbers to change in about 10, 12 days for Ethereum. Solana is, whoa, look how Solana got a little bit of, I'm getting that 160s. That would be great. Solana is trading at $179 and it is up 21% on the 30-day. XRP keeps hanging around. It's 30, doing its thing. Yeah. XRP is at 62.5 cents. And on the 30-day, it's up 31%. Doing pretty good. 31% on a 30-day. 31% on a 38. So what does an XRP look like at $30? What would be the percentage gain? Can I pick a fair number? Let's go to the percentage calculator and just see something. Because someone was saying something. Some entertaining content creator was talking about a 600%, a 60,000% gain. All right, so it's at 62 cents. It was one time at 42, 45 cents. So I'm going to go 50 cents, if I can do this right, to $30. What would that change look like, percentage-wise? $30. So that's only 5,900% increase. I say only like a 59x is like a 58, 59x is, child's play. That's interesting. $30, 59 extra money. Now, I'm not putting any more money in XRP, but for some people, being able to get in at this 40 cents and this 50 cents level, 60 cents level, could be game changer. But I'm not. I lost what I lost. I said I'm not buying anymore until we see how the market's going to respond this run. Once we see how the market's going to respond, once we see if we can gather some network adoption, then I will look in 2026, I will look to add some more XRP. So I'm going to cash out somewhere between 50 and 70%, probably 50 to 70, might be 50 to 80%. And depending on how the market does, get some projects launched, depending on how Ripple X does, look to accumulate. So see what we got going on here. Oh, Alina says she's in Ontario, but currently in the US. She's from Ontario. Oh, Alina said from Ontario. Isn't that nice? Might be the second wave. Yeah. So in any case, there it is, right? I mean, that's the market. It's doing what it does. XRP, I think I did 50 cents, right? I did 50 cents to $30, 59x roughly. That would be cool, if something like that happens. What's going on, Legendary? The Blue Wrench is in the building. Blue Wrench was in the building. Crypto saying, past 3 digits. Well, I guess one of these days it'll get there. I mean, I don't guess. I suspect that one of these days it will get past 3 figures. I don't know why people would be comfortable with Ethereum at 3 figures or higher and Bitcoin with 3 figures or higher and not be comfortable with XRP at 3 figures or higher. I don't understand that reasoning. But in today's age, at this point in the digital asset space in 2024, we recognize crypto that network adoption is important. Going up the adoption curve is important. Daily active users, real projects on the platform, creating network adoption in a great community is important. So we'll see what Ripple X has in store. We got the technology, but do we have the network adoption? Do we have the community? Do we have the daily active users? Are those things going up and to the right? Tell me about the TVL, right? Is Orchestra Finance going to improve what they got going on? Well, Dex 5.pro, which I keep saying every time I turn around, Dex 5.pros keep updating and coming up with new features, baby. I'm excited for Dex 5.pro. So Lotus Protocol, when they come, what are they going to bring to the table? It's coming by way of Root Network, but what are they going to bring to the XRP holder in order to help create network adoption? It's going to be important. What is Ripple and its partners going to do on this XRPL? Are these partners coming or no? Are they coming kick? I don't care if they're coming kicking and screaming, as long as they're coming. So we'll see if they hop on the XRPL. We know the products are coming to the XRPL, Liquidity Hub, ODL. These things are coming on to the ledger. So we'll see if their customers will come. We'll see what Archax has to bring. We'll see what the stablecoin has to bring. But I'm not chasing the game any longer. I'm letting the game come to me. Prove out, Ripple. Prove out XRP, I should say. XRP, prove out that you can create network adoption. I'll be here doing videos on it. I'll be here. I'll be waiting for that liquidity event. I will be providing liquidity. I'll be a liquidity provider for sure. I'll be leveraging the lending protocol when they get that out. But what you got, Ripple X? That's what I want to know. All right, so let's go over some of this. Utility is a must, right? Well, yeah, active network adoption, right? That is the key. Got to get people on the chain and doing stuff on chain. No more of this nonsense. Trying to run around outside of the chain to get stuff done. All right, let's go over some of this Crypto X stuff. It's a bunch, right? Should we do Hugo's thing first? I mean, big news out of Flare Networks. This is big news. What about Layer Cake? Flare is the blockchain for data. We are building a full stack solution for developers to build intensely feature-rich applications. Full stack solution for the devs. This includes an enshrined Oracle, native Oracle, for fast, native to the layer one, for fast decentralized prices. This is the FTSO. An enshrined native Oracle for data proofs from other blockchains and Web 2, something called FTC. And access to verifiable off-chain compute. Off-chain compute will allow apps to take processing off-chain for certain tasks in a verifiably secure manner. Remember, a lot of this focus is on the devs. This gives an application far more latitude in what can be built, and hence the utility that can be offered to the user. Our industry often asks, where are the apps that lead to adoption of blockchain beyond niche financial use cases? Access to massive amount of data and compute, including AI, that is fast, secure, and inexpensive. In our estimation, the critical path to answering this question, access to amounts of data, compute, including AI, that is fast, secure, and inexpensive, is, in our estimation, the crucial path to answering this question. So what they're saying is they're going to provide these developers to come up with that killer app by building this stack that is fast, that is secure, and is inexpensive. So he says, fundamentally, this is Flare's mission. How about that? So Flare's been focused on bridging as a first step, i.e., if you can have a platform that enables the secure uses of the majority of the value in the space, then you have a better chance of amassing value on that platform that leads to richer and more useful apps. To that end, we have put out 2 bridging ideas: F-Assets, a collateral secured bridge for non-smart contract platforms, and Layer Cake, a bridging mechanism for smart contract networks. In the non-smart contract bridging realm, BTC, XRP, solutions are still insufficiently secure to be considered solved. And hence, the F-Asset protocol is going into production. They're going into production with the F-Assets. They're basically saying the problem hasn't been solved, and this is where we're gonna head. And by the way, the problem hasn't been solved, and there's not very many people looking to solve that problem. F-Assets provide the first trustless bridging solution for non-smart contract tokens such as Bitcoin and XRP and others. When you use F-Assets, your bridging event is and remains secure through over-collateralization. Now, he goes on to say that bridging in the Layer Cake space that they were looking to go, which is bridging in the smart contract realm, has been furiously competitive. So all these other bridges like D-Bridge or the Portal Bridge from ZK Sync or Wormhole, right? Or Hit BTC, or I think it's Omni layer or something like that. A lot of bridges over there, and with a couple of clear winners, right? Several solutions have emerged that combine substantial ecosystem uptake with meaningful security. Interesting. The most advanced in these terms of market penetration and security is Stargate V2. I use Stargate Finance all the time, all the time. I just used the V2 not too long ago. Just some stuff from, I don't know, it was from base to something. I don't remember what it was, but I used it. Love Stargate Finance. So the most advanced of these in terms of market penetration and security is Stargate V2, which is built on top of Layer 0 V2. All right, you don't really know differences. Layer 0 is more messaging and the bridge. Stargate is more of the bridge. That's awesome. All right, so crucially, to move from Layer 0 V1 to V2 for any app built on Layer 0 V2 to arrange security as they see fit through the use of a decentralized verifier network. So Stargate V2 is an app built on Layer 0 V2 that enables token bridging. It's important to understand here that Layer 0 V2 is messaging standard and does not provide security by default. Crucially, the move from Layer 0 V1 to V2 allowed for any app built on Layer 0 V2 to arrange security as they see fit. If you're going to build on it, they're going to provide the security how they see fit, through the use of something called a decentralized verifier network. Stargate V2 takes advantage of this by using a well-structured DVN to secure the bridging application in which Stargate DAO participates. As of now, Flare has a partnership with both Layer 0 and Stargate. Layer 0 has integrated its messaging endpoints on Flare, and Stargate is using those for its Hydra Bridge service to bridge the tokens such as Tether, USDC, and ETH to Flare. So what's coming up next? Flare is working through deploying F assets, where initially both Bitcoin and XRP will be available on Flare for use in Flare's DeFi ecosystem. By itself, the ability to use these tokens trustlessly on an advanced EVM-based platform with enshrined data is huge. But with Layer 0 integration, we may be able to go much further. Layer 0's widespread adoption makes two things highly feasible. Firstly, the delivery of Flare's data to other chains for a fee. And secondly, the bridging of F assets to other chains, either through Stargate, if they wish to support it. It's an interesting comment, if they wish to support it, or through a custom built bridge utilizing Layer 0's messaging protocol. Doesn't it seem like to me that they're still going to be building some kind of custom bridge if Stargate doesn't take up the mantle and allow for some F assets to bridge there? Ideally, both the delivery of data and bridging of F assets would, at a minimum, use Flare itself as a DVN to provide security to this functionality. Pursuing an alternative bridging protocol for smart contract networks such as LayerCake would put Flare way behind in the bridging competition against very strong and established competitors. But most importantly, it would distract from Flare's mission to build a platform that gives developers access to massive amounts of data and verified compute. So I don't get the competition thing because Hugo, in interview after interview, was saying that there was no competition to LayerCake. So I don't get the competition thing. I mean, because the technology was purported to be so next level that there wouldn't be no competition. What I do get, though, is focusing on the layer cake, focusing on the F assets, focusing on this other thing, in a way, in a sense, can be spreading oneself too thin. And what they're essentially saying, in my estimation, is Stargate's got it covered. Let's focus on something that we're really, really, really excited about, which is bringing AI to the blockchain and do the thing that we came here to do in the first place, was to be the blockchain for data. That's kind of how I see what they're saying there. So, and I think, quite honestly, I think that is the better move. I think it's the better move. I get it. You got this next level thing for bridging, right? So I posted it. A blue ocean strategy wins out, every day of the week and twice on Sunday, as opposed to spreading yourself thin. Why go around swimming in all this red filled sharks bridging thing? And maybe you are the better swimmer, but there's a bunch of other sharks there. And they're nipping at you, and they're nipping at you over here, and they're trying to bring you down, and maybe they even gang up to bring you down. You know what I mean? Why hang out over there when there's this nice blue ocean over here and the blockchain for data? And you're going to add AI to make that blockchain even better, right? You're going to operate. Why not just hang out over here where you're bringing smart contract capability to Bitcoin and to XRP and the Doge and some others? That's a big market cap over there of stuff going on. And no one else is doing it. And you're going to do it at the next level. So it's nice and warm over here. No sharks. It's just flare. So I think that's the smarter move, Legendary. I think that is the smarter move. And I think that they're going to take whatever kind of resources and mind space that they were focusing on a layer cake, bring it over here and make the AI and put that AI in there and focus in more on that. And I think that's smart. We don't want to get into a peanut butter manifesto thing. So that's the word on the street. Like, guys, let me know what you think. I saw some people that were massively disappointed by this move. Legendary. I saw some people in the comments of that post. They were massively disappointed. I know it would look good and it would look cute to have this bridging solution. It would. It would look good. There's something about when you're comfortable using a bridge and you've just been using that bridge, you just kind of hang out there. It's just a very crowded space in that bridging thing. And so let Stargate deal with the other sharks in the water. And let Flare do what it does in a nice, warm blue ocean. That's kind of how I see it, guys. Let me know what you guys think. It's kind of how I see it. All right, what's next? So, I don't know. Jay Clayton. Jay Clayton is out there talking. I don't know. Everybody's giving Jay Clayton a pass. He kind of sneakily, just got himself out. Can't talk about Ripple case. I can't wait for it to be over so people can grill him on why he even freaking brought this suit. I can't wait for all the non-appeal things because he just escaped away from any criticism or questions because the case was ongoing and he could just throw ongoing in there. Case is ongoing. I'm not going to comment on any ongoing. Yeah. Anyway, Crypto Eddie put this out from former chair at the SEC, Jay Clayton. If Bitcoin were to be used as a U.S. reserve to significantly improve the U.S. debt situation, it could bolster the position of the dollar by ensuring that stablecoins help maintain its hegemonic status for an extended period. Crypto Eddie says, I'll take that bet. Anyway, Let's listen to the snake guy.
Stablecoin has proven to be an astonishing facilitator of dollar-based global transactions in that you can now do dollar-based transactions around the globe in very little time with very little friction, as compared with, wire transfers, money transfers taking hours or days and requiring, what I would say is lots of fees and the like. Stablecoin transactions take place virtually instantaneously and with very low friction. And what we're seeing is a tremendous amount of retail dollar transaction take up outside the United States. I think this is an incredibly bullish thing for the dollar around the globe, and one that our regulators really need to focus on, because the benefits of dollar hegemony, the benefits of the dollar being the basis for transactions around the globe, is so important to the United States. It's so important to the globe from a stability point of view. If there's a better technology to accomplish that, we should be figuring out how to facilitate it.
Anyhow, I only did that because Crypto Eddie covered it. U.S. debt's at 35 trillion. That's just not a great number. Wall Street Silver put this out. Since January of 2020, the debt has ballooned by 50%, from 23 trillion to 35 trillion. Interest on the debt has also skyrocketed with higher rates, averaging around 5% lately. Interest on the debt is on pace for 1.5 trillion next year. Interest alone, 1.5 trillion. About 30% of all government revenue collected. Elon Musk reposted that. Interesting. It's just not a great look. So Weed Say When had this announcement. It's an interesting announcement. Legendary, you hear about this? Weed Say When says, I want to share a little bit about JS hooks, JavaScript hooks on Xahau. Today, we launched a testnet for the JavaScript hooks amendment, adding support for custom logic deployed on Ledger, written in plain JavaScript. Now, this is a long post. I'm not going to read it all. But it basically, he would say when is saying that, it's been this promise of what blockchain could be, and no one's building anything for it to be that thing. Everybody's making things more complex, and less people can build on that kind of thing. Prime example, it's like Move, what Move built for Aptos and Seal. So anyway, so they got a JavaScript smart contract. So he says more people, millions of people can use JavaScript and know how to use it, so they can build some stuff. So announcing a JS hooks smart contracts written in plain JavaScript equals millions of devs use. So simply custom logic for the blockchain in plain old JavaScript. Huge barriers of complexity removed. Building for the real world now. Crypto Eddie was pretty excited about that. So Safadine Amos had a bunch to say, but he's basically saying, don't believe what the politicians say about what they're going to do with Bitcoin and how Bitcoin is all awesome. Don't believe them. So, basically it's, let's wait and see what they do. So SparkDex, this project launching on Flare Networks, is actually live now. So it's the farms are live. Breaking, SparkDex farms are live. The rollout of the SparkDex DeFi suite continues. V3 Dex launch, swaps alive, farms alive. It says here, sky high APRs online. I wonder what those APRs are looking like. Let's go take a look at some of this stuff here. Let's see what's going on in these farms. All right, let's take a look. Oh man, what's going on there? Oh man, that was quick. It was 100 and something. Now it's down to 70 something. That's pretty quick. up to 70%. Fee, APR, no fee, rewards. It's just a rewards thing. So some emissions. Current APR 70%. Safe. I don't know why they got the 7-day. But anyway, FLR and WFLR, TVL is 355. Let's see something. So this is all rewards. This is basically not from fees. Let's see what we got going on here. What we got going on here? Wrap Flare, Scepter Flare, Wrap Flare, SFLR Flare, SparkDeck, Pool Manager. 90,000 TVL up to 70%. They got a Wrap Flare and that's for a 0.3% fee. Then they got a Wrap Flare and that's for a 0.01% fee. But there is no fee APR. This is strictly rewards APR. Rewards are calculated for the time you provide liquidity for. Your rewards will be available to claim at the end of every APOC. So one has 90,000 in TVL, the other one has 86. But if there's no fees, why would you go into one that it costs more to enter than it does? In other words, it just, who's keeping the fees? If this is just strictly rewards APR. So I guess they're just keeping the fees. So in other words, why would you pay 0.3% to enter when you can pay 0.01% to enter? Trying to see, are the tokens the same? Tokens are the same. So anyway, that's the way I see that there. 19,230 FLR tokens. Interesting. Okay. So my guess with something like this is, early participation could be beneficial, could be beneficial. So these are the farms. That's cool. What else they got going on in here? That's the only one. So they got one. We got to see how we can get some USDX, and we're going to get some USDX. That's going to be the key because there's like 8% earnings on that. So I'm going to do a video on that for sure. Swap, full farm. Select a strategy, automatic, manual, select fee tier. I don't understand why you would do that. Full range strategy, save, common, expert, efficiency comparison. But you're not earning any fees, so that's. It just says this is all from rewards, but what is a reward? How are you getting your rewards? Anyway, I'll play around with this some more and see. Add some liquidity. I mean, probably full range is nice and simple. It's just 50-50 and you're good. Okay. So anyway, that's good to know. I'm gonna play around with this some more before I share with you guys. Most people do full range. You could pick a safe and you could pick something common, 10%. Safe or common probably. But again, it doesn't say any fee APR here. So that's kind of my concern right now. And it doesn't say fee APR. It just says rewards APR. But maybe they just, I don't know. We need to find out, are you earning rewards from fees in here? Maybe Steve for real estate will check in. So some good news here. Well, breaking news says XRP is officially listed on the CME, the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. XRP is classified as a payment and a store of value. So So anyway, XRP is a native token of the Ripple network. Dark horses doing his usual questioning. So this is the SEC fail that I think I mentioned in the title. So what's going on here? Can anyone crypto, can you tell me? So it says breaking Solana is no longer defined as a security by the SEC or Solana and the rest of these. On July 29th, the SEC moves to amend the complaint against Binance, seeks to no longer approve tokens such as Solana or securities. The SEC informed defendants that it intends to seek to amend its complaint, including with respect to the third-party crypto asset securities. Third-party crypto asset securities. As defined in the SEC's omnibus opposition to defendants' motion to dismiss. The docket number obviating the need for the court to issue a ruling as to the sufficiency of the allegations as to those tokens at this time. So that will be Cardano, Solana, Matic, Sand. Is that the gaming token, Sand? Filecoin and Decentraland? I guess it is, because they got Sand and Mana. And Mana are no longer securities, according to the SEC. Now, I know that Stuart Alderati and Brad Garlinghouse had something to say about this madness, which is, I don't know, just interesting, the SEC, I tell you. Brad Garlinghouse said this: more evidence of SEC hypocrisy. Chair Gensler testifies that the rules are clear, yet this SEC can't figure them out and applies them haphazardly, festering more industry confusion. A political agenda and or bad faith litigation tactics. Definitely not a faithful allegiance to the law. It's just like, what's going on over there, man? It's just fail after fail. Then Stuart already has something to say about it as well. It says, when a judge signals BS on the SEC's claim that 10 tokens on Binance are securities, the SEC says, never mind. But these tokens are left out to dry in the Coinbase suit. So on the Binance, not so much, but Coinbase, they are. This isn't how to regulate. Then John Deaton had to say this: this is further evidence that Gary Gensler should resign immediately. In the Ripple case, I was forced to sue the SEC and file a motion to intervene in order to protect retail investors. In that case, I argued Gensler and the SEC were violating 76 years of established case law. In other words, the claims were not supported by law. In return, the SEC attacked me personally and misled the court. The judge, a lifelong Democrat appointed by President Obama, ultimately agreed with me and 75,000 clients. Now, after causing billions of dollars in damages to retail investors, Gensler's SEC is backing off some of its absurd claims. Gensler, at the direction of Elizabeth Warren, lied under oath on more than one occasion. As Brad Garlinghouse points out, if the rules were so clear as stated by Gensler, why are his lawyers backing off those very clear rules? Go get him, John Deaton. Go get him, John Deaton. Pookie, did you see my post? I posted about this live stream as well. I've been posting about them. Appreciate you checking in, Pookie. Appreciate you being here. Guys, do me a favor, hit that like button. Be super, super cool. We always like to have just as many likes as we have viewers in the stream. That would be super, super awesome. So John Deaton lighting them up as usual. So the word on the street, Pookie, Player Networks, they're shelving layer cake. Shelving it. Focusing on the foundation of their mission, the blockchain for data. Going to focus in on the F assets. They're going to launch the F asset system and focusing on that bridging for non-smart contract as opposed to the bridging for smart contracts, which was layer cake. What's going on, Paul Bogo? How are you, my friend? So there it is. What do you think about all this Bitcoin stuff, Paul Bogle? What do you think about all this Bitcoin stuff right now? Did you go to the Bitcoin conference in Nashville? I bet you went, Paul. Did you go? I tell you, yeah, no more layer cake, Pookie Pookie. I've been listening to a lot of different perspectives. I'm going to share this video with you guys. And I just think it's massively important to just, get a well-rounded view of the asset space. And it's not about being a max in any particular asset, I don't think anymore. We've proven that out. Better to have a dollar cost average strategy than a max strategy. Right? Yeah, layer cakes, they're shelving it. Pookie Pookie says, I'm still bullish on Flare. Yeah, me too. Paul Bogle says, I didn't go to the Bitcoin 2024 in Nashville. Unfortunately, didn't go, but I did love the Trump speech. It's Trump. Trump being Trump, bro. Trump being Trump. I I think he's going to surprise a lot of people. Certainly that's my prayer, that this is a better version. And I'm very, very interested to see how this time around is going to go for sure. Paul Pookie Pookie says Hugo knows what he's doing. Yeah, I applauded the decision because I think I always talk about the blue ocean strategy, and I think this is what they're doing. And I think that it will play out well for them to not stretch themselves too thin. I get it. You got next level technology over here in this bridging thing, but there's a bunch of bridges and stuff here. People tend to kind of use the thing that they're used to using, ecosystems, the whole 9 yards. And it may take a while for them to see the prowess of that technology. And for crypto people might not be, they just want to make sure the stuff gets from A to B safely, right? And they're not going to be able to appreciate the Flare network technology, right? It's going to take them a while. Where if they hang out over here in the non-smart contract space and market share with bringing smart contract capabilities to XRP and the Bitcoin and to whatever else they choose, they're essentially the only ones doing that in a trustless, decentralized, and scalable manner. So I think there will be more appreciation there, depending upon the projects that get done. And then you add on Layer Cake and you add on Stargate to that ecosystem. And I think it bodes well. I think you can really shine there. It's blue, warm water over there, not a lot of sharks. Over here it's red, completely red. A lot of sharks hanging out, trying to solve that issue. The real big Will's in the building. How are you, bro? He says, I like Flair's move. Do what you do and do it better than anyone. There you go, my friend. There you go. There you go. I agree for sure. I definitely agree. I definitely agree. So what do you guys think about this whole Bitcoin reserve and the Senator Lummis introducing this bill? What do you guys think about that? Where are we with that, Pookie Pookie? Oh, by the way, on a side note, I'm going to be really curious to see what the XRP entertaining content creators have to say about this Flare thing. It's going to be fascinating to see. Let's see how they're going to play this one. It's going to be really interesting to see. So what do you guys think about Lummis is introducing this bill? You know, Trump is talking about Bitcoin as a strategic reserve asset. Remember that this is Bitcoin that they have already. I'm curious to see, what it's going to look like going forward. Are they going to be purchasing new Bitcoin? That's just what I want to see. But certainly this reserve strategy, this Bitcoin reserve strategy, let me tell you something. People are going to be doing it. You countries will do this. They will follow and they will take the lead. They will follow the lead of El Salvador. Make no freaking mistake about it. They're going to do it. You know, like they're going to do it. Real Big Will says, I think someone is talking their book with this Bitcoin stuff. Who tells the masses they're going to be super rich? Yeah, I don't. Who tells the masses that they are going to be super rich? Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if people are who tells the masses they're going to be super rich. Well, if Trump said that, you know, yeah, who knows? You know, he's been getting paid a lot of stuff. People were probably paying him in Bitcoin for sure. Probably paying him in Bitcoin. I've been doing a lot of research on Bitcoin and why people speak about it. What's going on there? Why is there's a mission thing? Why are they on some kind of mission and all this other kind of stuff? Is it more than just the asset? Is it the maxi thing? Is it something more? You know, I've been really doing my homework on that for sure. And it was interesting what I've come kind of the conclusion that I've come up with is it's bigger than what people think. And it's not just about the asset and number go up. That's the most important part. Um, for sure. It kind of ties one hand behind the back of the central bankers. And if we've been in the space long enough, we know the ill of the financial system is the private central banks. She is suspect to me. Who's she? Who's she, Pookie Pookie? Did I miss something? Are you guys talking amongst yourselves there? Who's she, Pookie Pookie? So that's what I feel like it does. Oh, Lummis. Yeah, well, Lummis, well, listen, she's a Bitcoin maxi. That is without question. The thing I say we have to guard ourselves with is, are they going to just, well, we got the FIT 21 bill, right? The FIT 21 bill it's a crypto industry bill. These are securities, these are commodities, these will rule over there, these will rule over that, stable coins, right? You know, we got to be careful because I remember two or 3 years ago hearing that the Bitcoin people were telling Congress people, we only need Bitcoin. We don't need all the other assets. So we got to be careful of that. We got to be careful that they don't try to pull one of those deals. So, but she's definitely big BTC Maxi for sure. I mean, they're doing some stuff over there in her state for sure. Tennessee's about to do some things, and in Texas is getting ready to do some stuff as well. And we got to ask ourselves why. What's going on? I mean, Texas is getting ready to go all in on Bitcoin mining. The state of Texas, they've already got legislation out there to make gold and silver, you know, regular legal currency. You can just, without taxes on it, you can use it to spend. Texas is making some moves with their land. In other words, there's an ecosystem evolving that is like it's undeniable, right? It's really, really undeniable what's going on. And I think that, you know, this whole idea of looking at Bitcoin mining, I think people are just really looking at it the wrong way. And they're not seeing the innovation that's coming from the Bitcoin mining, which is fascinating to me. I heard from the CEO of Marathon Digital, Marathon Mining, and how they're test piloting right now, warming or heating, I think 11 or 12 homes from the electricity from the mining, which I thought was interesting. Which I thought was really, really interesting. So I'm gonna let you guys listen to something here from a video that I was watching and see what you guys think. Let me find it. Yeah, there it is right there. This is Preston. Share. Preston Pierce. This is Lo Grumman. Lo Grumman is a finance guy. He's a analyst and financial markets guy who got into crypto. Is an altcoiner and kind of was like more of a Solana guy, I think. But in any case, just take a listen.
Because for so long we spent time with this kind of existential threat of them shutting down Bitcoin. Certainly in the early days, it felt fragile. It would have been easy pre-2013 for the government to close down Bitcoin, and they didn't. And then we've gone through a more recent period where Elizabeth Warren and her friends in Congress have attacked Bitcoin, and they've tried to demonize it. They've tried to bring in draconian legislation against it. But we're now in this position where it's like they may realize that actually they need Bitcoin and they need stable coins to maintain
absolutely
the game. I mean, you read the Mark Goodwin and Whitney Webb piece.
Yeah.
I mean, they talked about this Bitcoin dollar system. It's just it's hilarious. They're almost going to have to usher it in Bitcoin. They're going to give Bitcoin the red carpet,
no doubt,
to maintain the dollar
hegemony, my guy. Hegemony. So I find it interesting. Again, I know we asked this in a live stream of 2 or 3 live streams ago. I think that Nayib Bukele and his whole Bitcoin thing and these Bitcoin and dollars and letting the people choose is fascinating to me, that he implemented that. And it's going to play out. It really is going to play out. And I think initially it's going to be more heavily to dollars. The people in El Salvador are going to be choosing dollars and dollars. And then eventually it's going to flip. And they will choose to get more and more Bitcoin. Because they're going to begin to realize that there's just something about the fiat dollar system that's not working. And I think if the United States is the best of all the worst, how do you feel like you're living? How do you feel like you're living? And if you feel that way, what do you think the people in these other nations where their fiat currency is worse, how do you think they're living? How do you feel like they're living?
Germany, I always get that.
But that is really US centric, that viewpoint, isn't it? Because like while that's very beneficial to like the US Treasury, what does it do to all the emerging markets that are essentially dollarizing from the bottom up?
I think they need dollars. So like when you're looking at how they're viewing, let's say you go to Zimbabwe.
People need dollars though.
Yeah.
But what does it do to the government, like to the people trying to run the treasuries in those countries?
It makes it a whole lot harder.
Yeah.
Well, they're just going to have to either dollarize even more and just like adopt that as their logo. I mean, you go to El Salvador, they use dollars, right? So I think you're going to find a lot of emerging market type countries they have to get out of their own local currency game. They have to either adopt the dollar, they have to do a Bitcoin standard, or
is this something like the dollar milkshake theory playing out?
Well, I mean, when I look at that dollar milkshake, I would say Bitcoin is the thing that's above the dollar. Like people were thinking that the dollar is getting strong. I don't see them having to issue all these treasuries to keep the thing afloat as being strength in the face of Bitcoin being the apex predator of the dollar. So
yeah, the mechanics would work for Bitcoin, right? Because now in theory, if you are running a surplus against the Americans, as all these emerging markets are, and your currency is weakening, are you going to go to the dollar? Or are you going to go to Bitcoin? Well, you're going to go to Bitcoin.
If you're profitable and you actually make money, you're going to Bitcoin.
Yeah, at least it's not all. Some of it's going to go to dollars, no question, for liquidity purposes.
Yep.
But who's running a surplus against the Americans? And the answer is everybody. Everybody runs. So in that scenario setup, you're whatever little country. Yes, your currency falls against the dollar. Great, get out of my currency. Get into dollars. Okay, get into dollars for you. Okay, but wait. I am now still losing relative to commodities, because we're talking about here is the U.S. moving, to be clear, stable coins aren't going to get funded at 30-year paper. They're not going to be backed by 30-year paper or 10-year paper or 5-year paper. They're going to get funded
3-month paper.
3 months. They're going to be bills.
Right.
Yeah.
Bills are, so when you think about, if we took a dollar bill out here, it says Federal Reserve note on it. right? A dollar bill is just a 0% yielding bond of zero duration. It's not, that's it. It's just, that's all it is. It's a 0% yielding bond of zero duration. A T-bill is just a 5% yielding bond of 3-month duration. 30-year bond is a 30-year bond of whatever, 4%
Less
duration.
than that yield.
Right. Yes, right. Less than that yield. But the point is that the moneyness goes up that scale. Cash is very money-like. T-bills are pretty money-like. 30-year T-bill bonds are not very money-like. They're assets, reserve assets. So the more they issue, right? So the more they move toward T-bills, in part
The more they're
maybe
showing you.
the more they move to stable coins, the more they move to T-bills, the more it is the Treasury issuing dollar money-like instruments to finance themselves, as opposed to financing themselves further out, which is all else equal inflation. I mean, imagine if Brazil came out and so we're gonna do all these deficits in 3-month paper. Boom.
Yeah.
It's just America we're doing all this in 3-month paper, we're gonna put it in T-bills. So now you're gonna get an inflationary structural underpinning. And as that happens, the price of Bitcoin is going to go, like they need, as Bitcoin goes up, you need the stable coin demand goes up, the stable coin but you're into a vicious cycle of, and as that happens around the world, that dollar inflation will pick up, and the message to the rest of the world is yes, the dollar is rising a lot against my currency, but the dollar is falling against what I need to live. But what's rising against what I need to live is Bitcoin. So I'm going to keep what I need, working capital in dollars, and I'm going to put everything else in Bitcoin, and the supply of Bitcoin is way smaller.
Yeah, that is the thing. And this is a financial charts guy who kind of giving that take. Bubba Smith is in the building, late to the show, Siege, lucky number 13, watching on D-Light. How are you, my friend? Appreciate you checking in, Bubba. So again, he's talking from a global macro picture. What every nation and the citizens of the nations are going to begin to learn. Jeff Booth said this in an interview. He said that he was going to sell his $2.3 million home and take payment in BTC, and the person was going to offer the certain amount of BTC. I think it was, I don't know, 300 BTC. And at this particular thing, and he's decided not to sell his home. And years later, that 300 BTC was to get that house was only going to be 20 something BTC. Because of the way the fiat system is designed, it's designed to make everything expensive. So you for the same house, you're using considerably less BTC. And that's what Luke is essentially saying there, that people are going to get out of their fiat currency in the beginning because, man, this thing is trash. This thing is garbage. They're going to get in the stables, right? That thing is backed by the dollar. But eventually, they're going to realize in order to win, they're going to need to start getting Bitcoin, getting assets that are improving in value as compared to the life that they're trying to live. That's the deal. Now, will it be Ethereum also? Yes. Will it be Solana also, in my opinion? Yes. The great thing about it is the entry is one thing. The entry is one thing, right? Stables, Bitcoin, that's one thing. It is the exploration that is the thing. The exploration past stables and past Bitcoin is what we're excited about, right? And so I expect it to come for sure, but it's kind of wrapping your brain around the bigger overall picture. And again, Paul Bogo, I've always said this on this channel, that we as the digital asset space holders forgot the ethos from 2016 and 2017, which is the reason why we're getting these altcoins, but so we can get more Bitcoin. And I think that's going to continue to, I think we're returning to that, but I think that's going to continue to play out. And people are going to learn the strategy that I've been sharing. with this channel, they're gonna say, okay, this is the strategy. Because the multipliers of Solana or OM, Mantra, those multipliers are going to still be higher than Bitcoin. Still be. But again, as awesome as Polygon Matic is, it's not netting you a year-over-year return that's 100% or higher. As awesome as it is. Right? And it all has to do with the adoption of the blockchain, the network adoption. It's because people can kind of come to something. They can kind of, what they'll do is they farm a chain. They farm that chain. They farm it for airdrops. They farm it for liquidity. And then they're off that chain. So they don't keep that constant daily active users and going up the network adoption curve. Right? Right? So we got to look at the ones that are keeping people there, whether it's they're keeping them there because more projects keep building on there because it's easy to build on there, like Ethereum, or they keeping them there because it's a great community and they keep getting more and more exciting projects, or they come up with a blockchain that makes minting and creating something so fast and cheap and easy. So all these devs, which are retail people, building their stuff on there, whatever it is, however they're creating network adoption, they're creating a network adoption. That is the key. The key is to figure out a way to go up and to the right on the network adoption curve. That's daily active users, that's new projects, there's bringing more utility to the blockchain. That's the game. Paul Bogle says, ready, happening, can't be stopped. Yeah. Yeah, the real big Will says, hold on, they're going all in on Bitcoin mining. Interesting move. I'll be buying more silver and copper. I think that's copper now. I just have one question for these guys. Are central banks buying Bitcoin? No. No, because the central banks, in my opinion, are designed to manipulate and leverage the fiat system that they've created. So no. I don't know where they're going to put these reserves for Bitcoin, but this move is not making central bankers happy, especially the federal, the New York Fed and the Bank of England. No. Nope. Remember, they're in the business of robbing their citizens. They're in the business of robbing their citizens. That's what they're in the business of. They're not in the business of trying to make the citizens whole and prosperous. They're in the business of robbing the citizen. That's what the central banking system is set up and designed to do, is to bleed its citizens. This is why we have the great wealth gap that we have. It's because of the central banks. It's not because of a president or a premier or whatever they call the heads of these countries. It's the central banking system that is designed to steal. Yeah, it's designed to steal. So that is and what Bitcoin does is it offers an alternative to the fiat system. And everyone is adopting it at a record pace. Yeah, everyone's adopting at a record pace. Paul Bogle says, the only one I would be very careful in is Solana. There's a lot to be played out before it's safe to invest. Apparently, there's a lot of fake volume on it. This is coming out. Yeah. Well, they still have the MEV issue, right? So they have not solved that. They're looking for ways to solve it. So they still have an MEV issue. For sure. They still have an MEV issue for sure. What we have to see, what I think is most important is for me, I want to track the projects that are They have a token, but they're operating outside of crypto. So I'm tracking Hive Mapper, and I'm tracking Helium Mobile, and I'm tracking Devour, right? I'm tracking those. What are they doing? How are they operating? I want to see those things. Because I think that is the most important. When you talk about DeFi, you know, DeFi is tricky, right? Because there's some developers out there that they have advantages over regular retail folks. So you got to be careful, right? You know, the devs have some advantages over regular retail when you're talking about getting into DeFi. So you got to understand that. Yeah, yeah. Some guys that were screaming about Celsius being a scam, just saying this is only what I've heard and looked into. Yeah. And so it's going to be hugely, hugely important. And again, when the great thing about blockchain, I love it, is you can't hide, man. Like you can't hide. The word about the MEV for the challenge for Solana is out. If there's fake volume, the word's gonna get out, man. Like it's going to get out, right? So it's going to get out. People are going to discover the real numbers. I'm paying attention to those three that I mentioned. I'm paying attention to Jupiter Exchange. I want to see what's going on there. I'm paying attention to Drift Protocol, paying attention to those numbers and what they got going over there. Because the meme coin thing, you got to get it. Like, that's a racket over there because you can create so many. You got to be careful. People can create so many of those things, and you can rest assured that there's some devout devs there who are out for number one, and they know the meme coin game, and they are taking advantage of the inexperienced and the ignorant retail for sure. So, and that's not a good look, but that is for sure. Because I watched some developer channels, and they'll just flat out say that they know they have an advantage on retail. It's massively important. But network adoption is key. And I pay attention to the projects, the real projects on Solana, what they got going on. And with the massive thing they got going on is I mean, think about, they got a Solana Pay, right? They've hooked up with Stripe and someone else already. I think that's just genius, right? Fire Dancer is going to change the game in a big time way for real developers, right? The Drift protocols of the world, the Jupiter exchanges of the world. For the people building real projects, Fire Dancer is going to change the game. It's going to make it massively inexpensive to build great products on that blockchain. So I pay attention to that for sure. But right now, the numbers are the numbers. And so what I mean by that is if there's network adoption and if there's an asset that's outpacing the top two assets, in the end, it's outpacing the top two assets, right? And so that's massively important to know, right? If something is 2xing, but there's another thing that's 7xing, it is what it is. Those are the numbers. So I'm definitely paying attention to it for sure. And I'm in the Solana ecosystem a bunch. And right now I'm paying attention to, is it continuing to outpace Ethereum? Because Ethereum is just a little behind Bitcoin right now. It was ahead, but it's not anymore. But Solana is outpacing both. So paying attention to that and just leveraging what the market is telling me. And the market is saying what matters most is network adoption of the blockchain. Yeah, the blockchain can't help the bad people coming on there doing some stuff. But what matters most is network adoption of the chain. Yeah, so I'm really paying attention to that, see what they got going on. Yep, a lot of honeypots. Yep, yep. And again, it's the inexperience, man, right? I mean, it's massive honeypots on Ethereum, but it's the inexperience, right? You got to know, you got to have the tools and access to the tools to check for stuff, right? Right now on the XRPL, it's you got a smart dev over there leveraging retail right now. Right? Currently, right now on the XRPL, you got a smart dev over there, leveraging retail, right? So, so you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful. And it takes a while to kind of learn the game. It takes 5 years or so to learn what you're in. It takes another 5 to get good at now that you know what you're in, get good at that. Right. And so it's just what it is. It's a big time learning curve for sure. For sure. So this is why I think Raoul Paul and what he's been saying, and this is why the people coming into this space with tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars, why they stick to the blue chippers like Bitcoin and Ethereum, is because they know how to create the wealth and keep the wealth, right? And I think that is massively, massively important. They stick with those blue chippers. You stick with the blue chippers, right? Take your 40%, used to be 50%, used to be 100% year over year return on Bitcoin. Take it. It's going to do an X. And then on that X, you're going to get 40 to 50% year over year on it. Take the X from Ethereum. It's going to do an X. And you're going to get about 100% year over year return on that. Solana's going to do an X. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it's going to be, but it's going to be an X from where it was for sure. And then currently, past couple of years, it's offered a year-on-year return of about 250%, 300%. Right? You know what I mean? So I think that's important. I think it's really, 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 really important for sure that you got to know the game that you're in without question. And right now, if there's not network adoption, right? If it's not network adoption and it's not year over year return, then what do you have? In other words, I don't feel like I'm picking on Matic. I'm not picking on Polygon. I'm not really picking on it. But it did its thing. It did its thing, but it didn't net a year over year return. So who knows why it did its thing, but it did do its thing. It didn't net the year over year return. And right now we only got 3 of them that are doing that. You know what I mean? I only got 3 that's netting this return. So, I know people talk about the ISO tokens. For me, I'm looking at, do you have network adoption or no? Because if you don't, then what does it mean? If people aren't using your chain, which means they're not using your asset, what do you got? Like, what do you got? And I tell people this, okay, so you're waiting for something to happen. Got it. In the meanwhile, what do you got? Right? Because I can wait too. Right? I can wait. I can wait for network adoption. And I can also participate where there is network adoption. And then I can multiply my stacks, right? And then I can cash out, and then I can hold some and get a year-over-year return because of the network adoption. While I'm waiting for this stuff over here for regulations or for institutions or for, utility to kick in. But in the meanwhile, what do you got? And I would encourage all of you to kind of look at what's going on for the last 7 years. Okay. You know what I mean? It's, it's a tough lesson. Tough lesson. I've learned tough lessons. I've learned some tough lessons. I've learned that American citizen, a billionaire, essentially, could create a project and from its onset, lie to its community. Like no need to come into the digital asset space because you're massively successful. Massively successful. No need to come in and put your family at arms, right? No need. Came into the space and lied. It failed, and then wrapped itself around Chapter 11 protection and stole from everyone else. That can happen. Right? Big lesson. It's a big, big lesson for sure. But I do think, Paul Bogle, what I really do think is going to happen, and I think eventually everyone's going to come around to this. There's going to be a magnificent 7 in the digital asset space. We're going to get, eventually, maybe it's 2 bull runs from now, 2 bull cycles from now, but we're going to get to a point where we're like, you know what? I need to own the Google of the digital asset space. I need to own the Amazon of the digital asset space. I need to own the Netflix and the Apple of the digital asset space. I need to buy them and hold them and then do what the wealthy people do. They buy and they borrow and then they die. Now, of course, in between all of that, they're setting up trusts and they got their estates and all that stuff set up. They're educating their children on the buy, borrow, and die strategy and doing what it is that they do. But I believe we're going to get a magnificent 7. I really, really do. I say it's the FANG. They used to call it the FANG. Now they call it the MAG 7. But I think we're going to get that in the digital asset space. I really do. Question is, which ones? Who are they right now? Because, we still don't really know. It feels like Bitcoin and Ethereum. But after that, do you really know? After that, do you really know? Ripple X is up. They got a big challenge ahead of them. They have to create network adoption. It's going to be interesting because, we're going to know when Liquidity Hub and ODL and whatever kind of RippleNet, when that gets on the ledger, we're going to know about these partnerships. We're going to know who's really on RippleNet and what they're doing on RippleNet. And who's on ODL and what they're really doing on ODL. We're going to know. And who's using Liquidity Hub or no. We're going to know. We're going to know. We're going to know, right? Thank God they're bringing those products on the ledger. Now we're going to see who's coming with them. Which of those partnerships are coming with them? What's up with these 1,700 NDAs? We're going to know. We got to wrap this case up, man. We got to wrap this. We got to get it to some people are now saying that they think Ripple's going to appeal. What is that going to look like if Ripple pays the fine, they get to these remedy things, Ripple pays 50, 70 million. Remedy phase is over and done. SEC tries to claim some phony win. And then Ripple appeals some, the institutional sales thing, the ODL part. Like, what? What is that going to mean? You know what I mean? And what do you guys think about XLM bringing smart? They put smart contracts on that chain. You guys heard about that? They put smart contracts on the XLM. It's going to be interesting to see what they're going to do. What are they going to do about that? Smart contracts on the XLM. Interesting to see. I just hope that it's not too late for the XRPL. I hope that it's not too late. I'm hearing about Lotus Protocol. We know about Moy Finance. I hope it's not too late. I really do. I hope that it's not too late. Paul Bogle says that was extraordinary. He had his whole family. Yeah, and I think that they didn't know. Family didn't know. I don't think they knew. And he just thought he was, look, I'm a CEO. I've got billion-dollar exits. I'll figure this thing out, and could never figure it out. The hole was the hole. They couldn't recover. They couldn't recover. And the sham of it is, it really started from the beginning when he didn't own up to the sell tokens. He didn't buy like he said he was going to buy the sell tokens. He really never invested his own money. Blah, 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 blah. Shame, shame. Yeah, Kayla says, oh, wow, yeah. XLM, smart contract. Interesting. But for me, this is going to be the deal. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? What are they going to do when this case is over? I'm just telling you right now. Yeah. What are they going to do when this case is over? How are they going to create demand for the asset XRP? Right? Right? Because everybody's pointing to these partnerships and these banking partnerships. All right, let's see if they hop on the XRPL. We're going to see what RippleNet looks like on the XRPL. We're going to see. We'll see what Archax is going to do. We're going to see what the stablecoin is going to do. We're going to see. But in the meantime, I'm not waiting. I'm taking my multiples over here. I'm taking my multiples. I'm taking my X's over here. I'm taking my 3, 5, 7 X's. I'm cashing out some chips. And I'm keeping it year over year over year. Stacking more in the bear market to do it again. Yeah. Right. Raul Paul's like, just hang out the top layer ones, man, and just take the year over year returns. Why are you messing around? All right. If you want to mess around a little bit, take 10%, mess around. Jungle's in the building. What's going on, bro? I was just shouting out your website. That's right. Jungle says, all I want to see is a successful launch of the Ripple USD. Does anyone know why they keep calling it, why certain people keep calling it the real USD? I'm confused. Why do they keep calling that? I mean, clearly Ripple said it's Ripple USD. But anyway, at least that proves Ripple can execute. Yeah. Did you hear the big word about Flare Networks, Jungle? And Layer Cake? You just did a video about Flare Networks. Did you hear about the Layer Cake thing? They're shelving it, bro. Yeah. So again, on Layer Cake, rest in peace. Rest in peace, Layer Cake. That was a business decision. That was a business decision. I think it was good, but it was a business decision. Sounds real and trustworthy. LOL says a real big well with the Ripple stablecoin. So I agree with Jungle. They have to nail the stablecoin. They got to nail it. But what does nailing it look like? It's network adoption. It's getting people to adopt that token. They got to come on the ledger. How are you going to do it? What is it going to look like? I'm telling you, this liquidity incentive event is going to be it. They're going to have to get it right. And it feels like they can't participate until this case is over. Oh, yeah, it definitely does. That's what I did a video. I did a recorded video for the first time in a long time about it earlier today. Like it's the blue ocean strategy, my friends. It's the blue ocean strategy. There's no need in hanging out in this dirty red water with a bunch of bridges. Even though your technology is next level, you still got to compete. And people kind of hang out where they used to hanging out. Like I was saying, I use Stargate Bridge all the time. So, but over here, it's nice and warm. You're the only one hanging out there doing your thing for bringing smart contract capability to the Bitcoin and XRP and the FTSO blockchain for data, adding a layer AI to make it even better. They just hanging out on their own over there. It's nice and warm, smart. No need to do the layer cake thing. There's no need to do it and take energy. I think they're going to really take whoever's on that layer cake thing. They got a nice AI team. They're going to shift them over to this side and dig in. Yeah, like Real Big Will said, do what you do best and do it better than anyone else. I think that's what they're going to do. Small Business Doctors is in the building. What's going on, my guy? What up, Siege? I'm on abandonment of layer cake. Understand, but a bit disappointed, to be honest. Yep. Makes sense, though. Partner versus build decision. Yeah. That's right, Jungle. That's right. Jungle Inc. says, I would rather them allocate resources to AI than layer cake. Exactly. This is exactly what I said in my video. It just makes more sense for them. And then, they're not, they're not, they don't have this kind of funding, right? They don't have that kind of stuff yet. So I think it's a smart move. I think it's gonna play out well for them for sure. What up, Siege? I'm an abandonment of layer cake, understand, but a bit disappointed, to be honest. Makes sense though, partner versus build decision. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. They're gonna make it work. That's right. That's where they are. They have to use limited resources to max the benefit. That's where Thriller Network is. That's exactly right. It's just kind of what it is. And I know they made some decisions on some stuff and who they're going to kind of get some capital from or whatever. They want to, they really want to stick to their ethos of decentralization and security and scalability. And, you listen to Hugo enough, he's got a foundation, right? He's got an ethos about him. He's not about this. He's not about that. He wants to stick to this thing here and not be, what's the word I want to use? Not be, I don't want to say distracted, tempted by other stuff, tempted by potential gains, tempted by this kind of thing over here, tempted to some of the ugly stuff, the nastiness stuff that can happen in crypto and DeFi, right? He's trying to, stay away from that. So you could tell that is the kind of dude that he is. So we'll see. I want them to go all in on what they have the edge in and get better at doing it and smash that market for sure. For sure. And I think they will definitely do that. But I got to tell you, it's fascinating to me. This whole Bitcoin reserve strategy thing is fascinating to me. I'm learning more and more every day that this thing is just bigger than what most people think with this Bitcoin. It's bigger than what people think. They think it's about technology and they think about it as the asset. It is so much bigger than those things. And I think, a lot of people are missing it. But if people are willing to pop their head outside the XRP bubble and look around, they would learn some things. They would really, really learn some things. I've been big on Gary Cardone lately. Really, really big on Gary Cardone. I mean, just watching everything he puts out. Of course, Raul Paul. And it's been big as well. A little bit of Scaramucci, a little bit of Dan Tapiero, but mainly Raul Paul and Gary Cardone. Interesting that Raul Paul is, he chases, right? He chases the trends. Like He chases trends. Like he's a global macro investor. He's a big time trader. He's got the access to the charts and the resources, and he can chase trend. He can say, okay, what's outperforming Bitcoin? Oh, it's this thing Ethereum. Okay, well, let me see does it have network adoptions? It's got some active users. Are people use it? Yeah. Okay. Well, it's outpacing Bitcoin. So this is where I'm putting my money. Okay. Well, now what's outpacing Ethereum? Well, it's Solana. Oh, so they got active users. They got network adoption. They got yeah. Okay. There's all my money there. And since, $15, right? And so, no, average thing. What do they call it? The average cost, the average amount of money you spent is around $17, right? Oh, that's right, Pookie. Fred Krueger. I've been on Fred Krueger as well. Interesting guy. 8-figure exits, hugely successful before Bitcoin. I like that. Before crypto, I think it's important. I think it's important to getting your perspective for people who've had some success prior to getting to the space. I think it's hugely important to gain their perspective on how they see the space. I'm not sure if I can get that from Tone Vay or Anthony Pompliano, right? So it's important to kind of get some people who've had some massive success, tens of millions to hundreds of millions of dollars. I mean, Gary Cardone, hundreds of millions of dollars, right? And interesting to hear him and Dan Tapiero say, 80 to 90% of their net worth in this particular asset. That's interesting. But I think to myself, why? And then I learn why it is. And then I got to formulate a strategy around that kind of premise. Well, I don't have tens of millions or hundreds of millions yet. So how do I get there? How do I get that thing? How do I figure that thing out? Just leverage the altcoins. Altcoins are going to do what they do. I remember Dan Tapiero and Anthony Scaramucci said, keep going down the risk curve after Bitcoin and Ethereum. And who has time for that? Who has time to get into the minutia to find out why Solana is doing? I mean, Raul can. I mean, he's devoted his thing to this, but I'm a multi-billion-dollar hedge fund runner. I don't have time for that. Scaramucci's like, I run a hedge fund. I don't have time for that. But the retail investor, well, some of us have time. Some of us have some time to figure out some stuff, see what's going on, look around, right? Okay, there's RWA plays. I have not yet heard Gary Cardone, Anthony Scaramucci, Dan Tapiero, Raul Paul, Fred Krueger mention Ondo Finance. Not one time. Mainstream media, a few people in crypto. I mean, they're hooking up with BlackRock. Not once, not a word, not a peep. No, to those dudes, it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. And I think to myself, well, isn't that interesting? Surely they know there's an RWA and tokenization play going on in the digital asset space. But they're messing around with tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars. They're not going to get their clients into buying the Ondo token or Polytrade or Goldfinch. They can't afford to put their customers' assets at risk. So they're hanging out there with the blue chippers. But I know about Ondo Finance. Apparently, BlackRock did, hooked up. Ondo's got more of the BIDL tokens than anybody. Interesting. Right? Interesting. I can go down a risk curve a little bit and just check the narratives. Narratives work in the space. The space is running on speculation and narratives right now. It's not a utility-driven space yet. Which means it's not an ISO, whatever those numbers are, space yet. That ain't the space. The space is speculation and narratives, which means speculation, AI, and RWAs. And by the way, there's charts out that indicate what's capturing the space right now in terms of dollars. Right now is meme coins, followed by RWAs and then AI, I believe. It might be AI and RWAs, but I think it's RWAs and AIs. But there's charts. You can track it. You can see what's gathering all the attention right now in the space. Number one, meme coins. And I believe RWAs are number 2. Maybe RWAs and AI, flip one another. And then I have to ask myself, well, do I have any plays in RWAs? Do I have any plays in AI? Thank God for Flare Networks. Now I got another AI play and FLR tokens. Thank God. Because my other AIs, didn't get any fetch, Arweave, freaking AGI, whatever, near protocol, none of them get any of that stuff. I went with GT protocol. It's probably the worst bet ever. But I did delve into the RWAs, right? Got the Ondu, got the centrifuge, right? Got the polytrade, and something makes me think that I did something with my centrifuge. Like I discovered I had some and then I went and did something with them anyway. But in any case, that's kind of what's going on. Jungle says, I think it will expand. They will have ETFs that let you invest in entire crypto sectors. When that happens, it will open things up. Yep, absolutely. Those ETFs are coming for sure, Jungle. Absolutely. They're definitely coming. Because TradFi, it's easy for TradFi to suggest that stuff to their customers, And by the way, only about 30% of the people that are interested in the ETFs have access to the ETFs. It's only about 30% of retail. 30%. The people from JP Morgan and the likes, they don't have access yet because JP Morgan and the likes haven't said, it's clearinghouse. They haven't said, yeah, okay, we're good with it. They haven't done it yet. So the big overall dollars haven't even come into the ETFs yet. Haven't even come yet. So they're coming as well. But I still think the ethos is still the same. I really, really do. I really, really do. I think, we're leveraging Jasmine coin so we can get more Bitcoin. Because, the challenge when you listen to Gary Cardone and Raul Paul and Dan Tapiero, Fred Krueger, they're coming at it from this perspective, but they're talking to these people down here. Right? They're talking to thousandaires and they're multimillionaires. Right? They never talk about the strategy to get more Bitcoin. They never talk about that. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about our strategy. We'll share our strategy. And we're going to take that. Look, that 40 to 50% year over year return on Bitcoin is going to happen for about the next 20 years. Think about that. I think we kind of moved away from just the fundamental principles of buying and investing and saving and taking the return on that and accumulate during the bear markets so that your returns are better. We kind of got away from that ethos because the 2017 and 2018 bull run got us all spoiled and got us all distracted. I mean, you can't see XRP go from what it was in 2016 to what it did in 2018 and not be distracted. I mean, the runs were crazy. And then they piled on ICOs in the hopes of promise of the 2017, 2018 runs. And everybody lost their way. Everybody just lost their way, Jungle. And they forgot the fundamental premise of buy quality assets and hold on to them. Don't liquidate them. Buy quality assets and don't liquidate them. Accumulate during the bear markets. We got Raul Paul sharing multi-billion-dollar strategies with people for free. And we got an XRP entertaining content creator throwing shade on him. On Raul Paul. The dude is sharing multi-billionaire strategies for free. He's telling you what the wealthy do and how they think and how they act. And there's an XRP entertaining content creator throwing shade on that dude. How is that possible? That's lunacy to me. It's lunacy to me. And I also think it's important that you got to find, it's hard. Can you find a young VC type personality that is here for the good and not just money? That's hard because these VCs, they're getting some doors and some are, might as well be meme coin. What do they call it? Bots. Might as well be meme coin bots. Some of them VCs might as well just be meme coin because they are leveraging retail to the hilt. No, necessary. What is that thing that Paul Bogle said? What is it? What is that thing called? Paul, you mentioned that. Hold on, let me see where it is. I forget. Is it honeypots? No honeypots necessary in the VC realm. There's no honeypots necessary. VCs get in there and just rape and pillage through retail. It's not great. It's not great. But if you can find a good, decent one, right? That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's right, Jungle. I mean, and that's going to be a good thing too. Bet on the entire smart contract sector, RWA, AI, et cetera, right? And this is when those kind of index type things come, yes, absolutely. It's just like in traditional finance. Those index things are just, they perform well enough for the average person out there in that dirty, nasty fiat system. They work well enough. I don't know if it's QQQ or whatever, some other Vanguard product. They work well enough for the average people. Most people don't know. People trying to work. They're trying to figure out how can they make up for the debasement of the currency, right? So, those index things are going to be game changers, right? And I know someone's doing an AWI. Someone's doing an AI one right now. It's going to launch it. And that's going to be interesting to see. I would probably do something like that, like an AI thing. I'm not trying to do a traditional financial product though. I'm not interested in no ETFs. If it's decentralized and non-custodial, okay, I'm good. I'll participate. But I'm not trying to trust some custodian who doesn't know that the great taking is a real deal. Did you see the latest on the user agreement on Coinbase, Jungle? Did you see the latest user agreement with your wallet on Coinbase? Yeah, yes. Did you see that usual? It's right up the great takings alley. Right up this book's alley right here. It's a real deal, legal. I saw this on Coinbase. I'm like, I thought Coinbase was in the crypto space. What's going on? I thought Coinbase was about, decentralization and self-custody. No, baby. So on Coinbase, Jungle, they got this thing called verify your wallet on chain. It's all pretty. It looks, let me see if I can share it. It looks so cute and like, oh man, verify my wallet on chain. So I don't have to, when I go over here and I go over here, I don't have to keep verifying. Oh man, that's awesome. Yeah, no. Let me see if I can't find that. The real big Will remembers I did a video on that. So how much do I have on here? I got like maybe $100 worth on here. Yep, $90. So I saw, where is it at? They used to have this, it was verify on chain thing. And you could verify your wallet on chain. Let me see. Let me see. Let me Google it. I bet you it'll come up. Verify on chain with Coinbase. I went in and looked at it and said, let me see what's going on with this verify on chain thing. There it is right there. It says on chain verification, on chain verify from Coinbase, right? So I said, let me do one of these test wallets that I have and see what's good. So I went to do this thing here. Okay, let's see here. Verify your wallet. Verify your wallet to unlock on-chain experiences. Get benefits that are only available when you verify your wallet with Coinbase. Unlock on-chain experience, use any wallet, keep your privacy. Right? So I went to this little thing here, and let me do this, right? You hit the get verified button, you connect your wallet, right? I went through this whole process. And you can choose which one you want to do. I went with my MetaMask test wallet here, right? And I'm going through this process, and they got this little thing right here, my friend. Right? All right, ready to verify? Verifications are free. I mean, they're free. Choose what you want to verify. Pick your country of residence. All right, okay, cool. Then I see down here, it says agree and verify. And it got this little Coinbase user agreement. So listen to this. It says, by continuing, you authorize Coinbase to issue this attestation to the specified wallet address, comma, agree with the relevant terms of the Coinbase user agreement. So I clicked on this Coinbase user agreement. And, you know, it's just the typical user agreement, got some definitions and stuff, you know how they do. Digital asset. What's the digital asset? Blah, blah, blah. Supported digital. Amendment of these terms. We may amend or modify this agreement at any time. That's a little bit of an alarm, right? Then you got the dispute resolution stuff. No investment advice or brokerage. That's all cool. Right? And then it gets to this hosted wallet and custodial services part, hosted wallet service, and in parentheses, digital asset wallet, Coinbase Vault. And then they got another one here, hosted digital asset wallet, supported digital wallets. Then they tell you about some protocols they don't support. I think that's awesome. Cool. And then it got down here to this digital asset custody and title. Got a little, this looks like just like the Uniform Commercial Code. This is how they do it. So you got digital asset custody and title. All supported digital assets held in your digital asset wallet are custodial assets held by Coinbase for your benefit, as described in the thing below. And then he's talking about ownership. There's channels right now promoting how they use the Coinbase Vault. In any case, then it's telling you about ownership is title to support digital assets shall at all times remain with you. And you should not transfer to Coinbase. All assets, all interest in these digital assets we hold for digital assets wallets are held for customers and are not property of Coinbase, it says here, right? So you read all of this, and there's just a lot of reassurances. Coinbase shall have no liability for supported digital asset fluctuation loss. None of these assets in your digital asset wallet are the property of or shall not be loaned to Coinbase. You're thinking, oh man, this is cool. Now, a lot of people stop reading, just like they do in the Uniform Commercial Code, Articles 8 and 9. But if you keep going down a little bit further, it says, except, right? Except as required by law, or except as provided herein. Except as required by law, or except as provided herein. So you got to go down, and herein is what's the stuff they got underneath. And it says here, application of the Uniform Commercial Code. That's a law thing. All states participate in the Uniform Commercial Code. It says all supported digital assets credited to the digital asset wallet will be treated as financial assets, which are different than digital assets. Financial assets is in the world of traditional finance, like 401ks and mutual funds, securities, etc. Right? So these assets are now going to be treated as financial assets under Division 8 of the California Uniform Commercial Code, which is the Uniform Commercial Code. It says here, interesting. what it's now saying. Whereas before, Coinbase didn't have anything to do with your stuff. Now it says Coinbase is a securities intermediary. Did you know that Coinbase was a securities intermediary? I didn't know. It says, as used in Division 8 with respect to supported digital assets, and your digital asset wallet is now, it's not a digital asset wallet, it is a securities account. It says right there. A security account as used in Division 8, which is Uniform Commercial Code, Article 8. So now Coinbase is a securities intermediary. Your assets have changed from digital assets to financial assets, and Coinbase has changed from whatever it is that they do to a securities intermediary. And if you look up the Uniform Commercial Code, Article 8, you can go to law.cornell.edu to look that up. It tells you that you are the benefit. If you have a securities account, you have what they call beneficial ownership and/or an entitlement to those assets. You're an entitlement holder. When did this crypto thing that most people, 99.99% of people think this is a crypto exchange and/or brokerage? But they're saying that your accounts fall under the securities account and change from digital asset to financial assets. I find it fascinating that to verify your wallet, they want you to agree to this thing. Now, this may be only the Coinbase Vault people, maybe. But I know one thing, I'm not taking a chance. But I found it fascinating that they mentioned this and state this, and you have to agree that your assets changed from digital assets to financial assets and are treated under the Uniform Commercial Code, Article 8. That's interesting. Now, we've gone over that. Certainly recommend you read the book, the free PDF, thegreattaking.com, and learn the deal. That's why I'm not interested in any financial products. This is why I called my broker and said, how can I get physical held of my stuff that I have with you guys? Because I understand the law now that anything that I can't hold, I don't own it. I am only a beneficiary owner and/or an entitlement holder of that stock, of the mutual fund, of the 401k, of the IRA, self-directed or otherwise. Under the law. So I tell people all the time, Jungle, go to thegreattaking.com, download the free PDF. There's 2 T's there. One for the end of great, the other for the beginning of taking. Download that free PDF. Read the prologue. See if it strikes your fancy. Most people pick it up, can't put it down. It tells the real deal, the real law that has been changed from 1994, essentially, till today. And is in essence a grab of your assets. Deeming your stuff financial assets, thus collateral that they can take in the event of some systemic event. I ask you, do you feel like a systemic event is looming? Because I do. I feel like a major systemic event is looming. I think they've been telling us with these little hints of these little banks falling. What's going on, Open Mind? Legally, when you read when I read The Great Taking, I was like, what? And then I'm watching more and more interviews. I'm watching David Rogers Webb being interviewed, and I'm hearing these stories of 2 states that got word of this great taking, and they tried to change it at the local state level. And the central banks sent their attorneys. Why would the central banks be sending in their attorneys to make a change at a local and state level for paper stuff? Yeah, it was either South or North Dakota and in Tennessee. They sent their lawyers to both states. Why do you think that is? This was at the local level. You could just have that thing changed. You could amend because like California has uniform commercial, right? Each state can have their own. You can change that and say, oh, no, we're getting back to the golden olden days where we had property rights. We no longer have property rights. It's beneficial ownership. Legally, they've made these changes. And they've implemented this in the EU as well. The states started it. Surprise, surprise, New York Federal Reserve started it. And suggested that the EU enter into this thing as well. And the EU went kind of kicking and screaming, but ultimately signed up for it as well. Yeah. So we go back to our kind of thing for the channel. If you can't hold it, you don't really own it. It's not just the dirty, nasty fiat you put in your bank account. Most of us in crypto know what happens when you put your dirty, nasty fiat in the bank account that's just no longer yours. Vast majority of the masses don't know, which means they definitely don't know. Their RIAs don't know. Their financial advisors don't know. There's security lawyers who didn't know and don't know. And by the way, if you are hooked up, you got a few $100 million and you're hooked up with the wrong secured creditor. These secured creditors are the one who has access to all your stuff. If you're with the wrong one, like it might be Goldman's, but it might not be Goldman's. But in any case, if you're hooked up with the wrong one, you're going to lose your stuff there as well. So people with 50 to 100 and 200 million, they might be hooked up with the wrong one that's not a secure creditor, right? Because the central banks are going to say which ones are the ones excluded from the great taking. The central banks decide. So it's not your RIA, right? It's not your trusted custodian. Nope. It feels like it's in a systemic event in which they kind of determine they have access to your collateral. And the guys is they need the collateral to try to put a plug in the hole of this systemic event. And they can legally take one's collateral. That's the real deal. That's the real word. I've been trying to spread the word as much as I possibly can, but that is the real deal. I called one of my brokers and they told me it costs $100 just to get a certificate in hand, stock certificate. I'm like, $100. I'm like, whoa, that's heavy. $100. Or you can write directly to or reach out directly to particular Tesla and say, hey, can I get, I got this account here with this and I own these amount of shares in this. Can I get the, and do it that way? I don't know what the procedure is like yet. I got to see if they're going to need information from the brokerage or not. But I am really on this tip of, if you can't hold it, you don't own it. Isn't it interesting that Operation Choke Point tried to steal self-custody away? Isn't it interesting that Operation Choke Point 2.0 tried to take self-custody away under the guise of, taxes? We just want to get our taxes. No. That's not why. That's right now. That's not why. Now they just try to pull a hoodwink. Was it in the EU? Was it the ECB? I forget where it was. Oh yeah, I forget where it was. But they sent out to their citizens some little form or something. I don't know, it was by email, whatever. And in the form, they wanted the citizens to list the assets that they hold. Okay, so you own a 401k, okay, with who and how much? Okay, so you own this IRA, and they said they were doing it to protect your assets from money launderers. So they wanted you to volunteer the assets that you had. I forget who it was. Do you remember the real big whale, who it was, or small business doctors? I forget. Was it the EU? I forget who it was. Yeah, but they just tried that recently. Alarming. TheGreatTaking.com. Highly recommend you guys check that out for sure. All right, fam. Look, I'm gonna hop off here. It's been a really cool hang up and going for 2 hours now. But I appreciate you guys checking in. As always, TheGreatTaking.com, it'll enlighten you. You'll watch some interviews by David Rogers Webb as well. But I just found it fascinating that in Coinbase, I discovered this. I thought we were supposed to be part of the new financial system, Coinbase. Do your people know about this little user agreement thing? I bet you that Coinbase people don't know. And you know what I think is interesting, Jungle? I wonder what Uphold has for their user agreement. I wonder what they got for that vote in terms of a user agreement. I bet you. Oh, because I saw a video the other day. Someone said, you got to recognize something. Oh, it was Gary Cardone. Gary Cardone, hugely successful way before his brother. His brother eventually surpassed him, but he was way successful before his brother. But anyway, Gary Cardone said, look, I mean, I don't know if you guys are paying attention, but they have already picked the chosen one. They have already picked Coinbase. That's the chosen one. So who's they? Who picked them? Did someone tell BlackRock to hook up with Coinbase? How that all happened? But in any case, they're the chosen one. And they got that in a user agreement. And they got customers in the Coinbase vault. Did that feel like a little hoodwink to you a little bit? Verify your wallet on chain, you're going to get privacy and you're going to get, this access. Just click this user agreement. Like, why would they need that user agreement in crypto? How all of a sudden does my Bitcoin turn from a digital asset to a financial asset, and Coinbase change into a securities intermediary, which means someone is above them who has access to their stuff in a systemic event. And they're called secured creditors who have this access. It's alarming. I'd be curious to see what's in the Uphold's user agreement. Now, I don't think that there's anything nefarious. I think this is something that Coinbase had to have in order to issue the services they have, right? Because it's all these stuff's are laws. But it didn't used to be the law. The law used to be, It was property rights. That's what it used to be. You used to have quote unquote property rights, but just understand we no longer have that. We no longer have that. It's not our 401k. It's not our TSP. Certainly not our savings and checking accounts. But anyway, there it is, fam. Thank you so much for hanging out. I appreciate each and every one of you guys checking in on a late Tuesday evening. I'm going to hop off here for sure. It's been a really, really cool hang. Do me a favor. If you didn't hit that like button on the way in, please do so on the way out. It really, really helps getting the channel out to more and more people. And if you happen to be in that 45 to 50% of people that are hanging out, listening to and watching the crypto season, you haven't subscribed to the channel, we're on a mission to change that 50% to about 25% for sure. And you could do your part by subscribing to the channel. And we would truly, truly appreciate that. We're going to get to 10,000 subs as fast as we possibly can so we can do some live interviews. We're going to do some interviews for you guys. We're going to interview Gary Cardone, Raul Paul, and some others, Fred Krueger as well. All right, fam. And don't forget to ring that notification bell so that you know whenever we go live or whenever we upload a video. I'm going to end this one like I do all my videos and remind you guys of this. Old money doesn't want you to win. But that's okay, though, because you and I, we're already winning. And I would ask you to consider this, or perhaps ponder the idea or notion of living your life permissionless. I'll talk to you guys soon. See ya. Bye.